Hello and welcome to a load-balanced Jitsi Meet installation tutorial. For the purposes of this tutorial, we accept that you are familiar with the basic concepts of Jitsi Meet and you also know how to install it. If you want to see how to install Jitsi Meet, please refer to an installation tutorial. Now let's see what the basic internal structure of a Jitsi Meet platform is. It consists of several major parts that you see in each installation, and also several optional, additional components that provide non-core functionalities, like SIP telephony integration, shared real-time text editor, conferences recordings, and so on. In this tutorial, we'll focus on load balancing the platform between two or more SFU media servers, or selective forwarding units. These servers in Jitsi Meet are called Jitsi Video Bridge and are one of the most important parts of the platform. The video bridge hosts each conference. It is responsible for relaying all the media streams going out to all the participants. Instead of mixing all incoming media into one single stream and sending it to all peers, like the traditional MCU servers do, the Jitsi Video Bridge only relays the media streams. There is no mixing. The advantages are that this way it is faster, lower on CPU and RAM resources, and also the output can be customized for each participant. For example, people may receive videos from only the last 4 or 5 active speakers, and the quality of the streams, hence their size, may be lower if the receiver has lower network speed. In the default installation, each Jitsi Meet frontend has only one video bridge running behind it. But that's not mandatory. The service that binds all the other parts together, called Jicofo, can manage more than one video bridge. When there is a request for a new conference, Jicofo has to decide which video bridge to call for hosting it. In the standard setup, the one that comes by default with the Debian packages, there is only one video bridge, so the process of choosing is not visible or important to us. One video bridge, one place to host conferences. But if we add more video bridges, we'll have a conferences platform that will scale horizontally. Each video bridge can host multiple conferences, but depending on the complexity of each one of these conferences, the number of streams, the number of participants, the frequency of speaker changes, and so on, the stress on the server machine can be lower or higher. When we have a second video bridge, Jicofo will choose to host the new conference on the less loaded machine. This way, the server load can be distributed. You can also use video bridge load balancing to provide failover. But remember, each conference is hosted on only one video bridge, and if this bridge goes down, so does the conference. When the participants reload their browsers, they may have a conference that looks somewhat like the failed one, but underneath, technically, it will be a new conference. So such failover will work above the conferences level. It will be a failover for the whole service. As far as the very conferences are concerned, there is no failover. Regarding the load balance, it's also on the service level. Separate conferences can be balanced or moved between video bridges. Each conference is born, lives and dies on the video bridge that Jicofo decided to direct it to. Once again, the video bridge load balancing and failover are on the service level. They provide availability, non-interruption of the whole service. This is different from non-interruption of a specific conference. The latter can be achieved with careful planning of the video bridge server resources, depending on the anticipated number of participants per conference. The video bridge is a component that can be installed on a separate machine. By default, you get Jitsi Meet, Jicofo and Video Bridge all installed on one machine, but if you wish, you can separate them. Different server setups are possible. For example, you can have one web server machine facing the internet and hosting Jitsi Meet frontend and Jicofo alongside with all the video bridges on separate machines. Or you can have the first video bridge on the web server machine, just like the standard setup is, and add the additional video bridges on the other machines. For this tutorial, we'll use a default installation and we'll turn it into a balanced one by adding a second video bridge on a separate machine. We'll add only one additional video bridge, but once you know how to do the process, you can easily add more. All the components communicate through XMPP. Each video bridge periodically publishes information about its current load in a pub/sub node on the XMPP server. Jicofo is subscribed to these nodes and listens to the changes. All you need to do in order to have a load-balanced video bridges is to configure each video bridge to publish its statistics on a pub/sub node in the internal XMPP server, Prosody in our case and by default, and then configure Jicofo to subscribe to this node. Let's go on and configure our first Jitsi Meet instance for a load balance setup by adding an additional video bridge machine. Now we already have two virtual servers with Ubuntu 16.04, Xenio 0 LTS. On the first one we have installed Jitsi Meet as it comes by default, with the Debian installation packages distributed by the Jitsi upstream. This server has static public IP and a DNS name pointing at it. On the second server we also have Ubuntu 16.04, with just a Jitsi repository added and nothing additional installed yet. We can use SSH on both servers. When preparing your servers, remember that you need either a root login or a login with full sudo rights. If you are logging in as a user, switch to superuser with sudo su -. Let's log in into the first server. We have a running Jitsi Meet platform on this machine, and we are keeping the first video bridge here, so all we need to do is prepare the platform for the multi-bridge setup. The following changes in the Prosody XMPP server config will be needed. First, all video bridges have to be able to create the pub/sub node, so the JITs or Jabber IDs of the video bridges must be added to Prosody as admins. And then, since the additional video bridges will connect from outside, the interface that Prosody listens for components connections must be set to an external one, because by default it is localhost. Now we'll add the video bridge JITs as admins in the virtual host configuration file in Prosody. If you are not sure about the JIT that each video bridge will use to connect to XMPP, you can find them in the config file etc jitsi video bridge config. Look for the line with gvb opts and the option called subdomain. If there is no such option on that line, this video bridge will connect using the default subdomain, jitsi-video bridge. To get the full JIT that you need to enter in the Prosody config, just add your domain name after each video bridge subdomain. The next part of the Prosody config is to make the server listen on the public interface, so that the video bridge on the second machine can connect to XMPP and register as a component. By default, Prosody listens to localhost, so we add the following lines somewhere in the main config file. Setting the component interface is not possible from a separate virtual host. It's a global option, so we open the main config file. Remember that setting the components to connect to a public network interface means that you will have to configure all components, Jicofo, all the video bridges, to connect to the public address of the server. even those that are installed on the same machine, in our case Jicofo and the first video bridge. Prosody can take only one IP address for this setting, so when we change it to the public address, the locally installed components won't connect to localhost as it was in the default install. Now we'll find the IP address of our installation. Here it is. Now let's configure the locally installed Jicofo and the first video bridge to use the public address instead of localhost. In etc Jitsi video bridge SIP-communicator.properties, we add the following lines. First, we enable the statistics, and we set the statistics transport to pubsub. Then we point the bridge to the pubsub service. It runs on the XMPP server, so we need to enter the address of the XMPP server. In our case, Prosody runs on the same server, on the main machine of the platform, with a DNS name matching the one of the whole Jitsi Meet installation. And on the last line, we specify the name of the pubsub node that this bridge is going to publish its statistics in. Then we go to Jicofo configuration. In etc Jitsi Jicofo SIP-communicator.properties, we add the following lines. Once again, we specify the DNS name of the XMPP server or its IP address and the name of the pubsub node. Jicofo will read from this node. It's the same node that the video bridge is sending its statistics to. If we have a firewall on the main server, we have to allow port 5347 TCP. Then we go to our second server. Here we have already added the Jitsi Debian repository. We have checked and added its key, and we have updated the package lists. Now, let's select for installation the package Jitsi Video Bridge. We need only this one, because on this server we'll have only a video bridge running, nothing else. When the installer asks us about the DNS hostname of our instance, we add the DNS name of our main server, where the main Jitsi Meet platform is installed. Now we have to change the configuration the same way we did for the first video bridge. In etc Jitsi video bridge SIP communicator.properties, once again we add the following lines. We also need to change the config file to add the address of the XMPP server and to choose a subdomain for the new video bridge component. So the subdomain is video bridge 2. Now back on the main server, we have to add a configuration for the new component so that the remote video bridge can register in prosody. The component secret must be the same as the one in the file etc Jitsi video bridge config on the new video bridge machine. This is the main machine. And here is the first component for the first video bridge. Now we add another one just like the previous by using the new subdomain. Now the component secret must match the one configured in the video bridge config file on the new server. This is the secret. And we are done here. Now we'll restart all the affected services. We'll make a quick check of the logs to see if the reloads and restarts are okay. On the main server, we can use reload on prosody. The log file looks okay. There are some warnings, but they are prior to our changes. Now in Jicofo and Jitsi Video Bridge the reload is not yet implemented, so we just restart them. The log looks okay. And we go on with the Jitsi Video Bridge. And this log file is also okay. Now on the second server we restart Jitsi Video Bridge. And the log file And that's it. Once all this is configured and the services are restarted, you should see in the Jicofo logs in var log jitsi jicofo.log details about the video bridge choosing for each new conference, number of conferences per bridge, and health check pings that Jicofo sends to determine which video bridge is available. Here are some typical log messages that you may wish to keep an eye for. On bringing online a new bridge, it registers itself as a component in the XMPP server. Jicofo logs this event and schedules a health check for the new bridge. Alternatively, when the connection with the bridge is lost for some reason, like the bridge component is removed from XMPP or Jicofo fails on health checks or both, you'll see in the log a message for removing the bridge and stopping its health checks. When a new conference is created on a healthy platform with at least one working video bridge, you'll see a log message with the details of the conference creation. There you can see on which bridge it will reside. Periodically there will be messages with the current number of video streams on each bridge. You can use all this information for gathering some raw statistics or, which is more important, as an alarm for problems with the video bridges. Of course, there are more powerful and complete solutions for monitoring the usage of a Jitsi Meet platform, like call-stats for example, but you can always use the log file for system troubleshooting. Now you have a Jitsi Meet platform with two balanced video bridges, and you can use the same procedure to add more. To add a new video bridge, just do the following. On the main server, add a prosody component for the new video bridge with a subdomain and a secret string, and then reload the prosody to make the config changes active. On the new server, add the Jitsi repository and install Jitsi Video Bridge. In the zip communicator.properties file, add the configuration for pub/sub statistics. In the config file, point gvb host to the main server, and in gvb opts configure the subdomain. The gvb secret variable must match the one configured for the prosody component on the main server. And then restart Jitsi Video Bridge. You can add as many new video bridges as it is needed. You can have them statically pre-configured and installed, or you can spin them up in a cloud infrastructure on demand. Thanks for watching. Take care.